CDRLs, or Contract Data Requirements Lists, specify what and when data deliverables are received in a Phase 2 contract. This video walks through this type of document. CDRLs, or Contract Data Requirements Lists, provide a standard way to express what data items are delivered to the government and when they are delivered. For Phase 1 contracts, since there's a standard set of deliverables, there are no CDRLs. But for Phase 2, CDRLs will always accompany the contract since the type and the number of deliverables varies. CDRLs specifically indicate a name of the deliverable, how the deliverable is formatted, the frequency of the delivery, and when they're delivered relative to the effective date of the contract award. CDRLs also specify who receives a copy of the deliverable and which distribution statement to use for proper marking. Here are some important notes to be aware of. First, CDRLs should always be linked to a proposal's statement of work. There should be some traceability between a task that is in the proposal and a deliverable that is specified in a CDRL. Second, CDRLs only specify data deliverables, which includes documents and software. Hardware deliverables are not specified in CDRLs, but should be formally stated to be delivered in a proposal statement of work. Lastly, any change to a CDRL will require contract modification. This should be communicated to our office via the technical point of contact, or TPOC, so that we may process the contract modification. Do not proceed with a change to the CDRLs unless it has been approved and signed by a contracting officer. Data item descriptions, or DIDs, specify the content, the format, and the intended use of deliverables. Each deliverable in a CDRL will have an associated DID identifier. An online database called Assist exists with a full repository of standard DIDs. For TPOCs, this database could be used to specify the format and the content of deliverables. Let's take a quick peek at this website. When you visit the Assist database, you will see this page in front of you. You can search for standard DIDs by the different various fields that are shown here. In one particular case, if I'd like to search for all the standard DIDs that are related to a test plan, I can search for that terminology under the Find Term field. I would click Search, and the search functionality will report a list with that specific words. There's actually a DID that's a generic one that we use for our contracts that I will click right here. And if you are a TPOC, you can use this specific DID when specifying your data deliverables. And if you're a small business, this can be helpful to understand the format and the content of the deliverable itself. The webpage gives information about that standard deliverable document, as well as the correct distribution statement to use. And this helpful section right here shows all of the available attachments that's related to that standard DID. CDRLs are in a formal document that are prepared by the government technical points of contact and approved by our office and the contracting officer. Let's take a look at this document. In front of you, there are several blocks to be aware of. The block A indicates which base or option periods this corresponds to. Since usually CLIN items 1 and 2 correspond to the base period, one can assume that this specific CDRL indicates it's a deliverable for the base period. For block D, it indicates the SBIR or SCTR topic number, as well as whether it's a Phase 2 base or any of the successive options. Block E indicates the contract number, Block F indicates the name of the small business, and Block 2 indicates the title of the data item. More information that might be specified beyond the fact that it's a quarterly progress report, which is actually also indicated in Block 3. Block 4 is where the actual DID identifier is being specified. So for a small business, you want to look at the Assist database to look at more information about how that DID indicates content and format and the distribution statement that's being used. Block 5 will indicate the proposal number and specifically where in the statement of work this particular deliverable is mentioned. Block 6 indicates the requiring office, basically which program office this is bound to. And then block 10 indicates the frequency, how often you are receiving this. Usually it's quarterly, or it could be yearly, or it could be just one time. The date of the first submission is the first time that the deliverable is received. In this case, it's quarterly progress report, so it's 90 days after the contract award, which we shortened an abbreviation through DAC. If there's any subsequent submission that's not clearly specified, the fact that it is in the frequency, you'll notice that in block 13, which is the date of subsequent submission. So for example, if the frequency is one time and it's a deliverable that's made 4 months and then 8 months after the contract award, you could see that the first submission is 4 months and then the block 13 will indicate 8 months after. On the right-hand side is the distribution, which is block 14. And it actually indicates the individuals that will be receiving that deliverable. In this case, the SBIR program office is listed, the technical point of contact, as well as the alternate technical point of contact. Block 16 is probably the most important block to be aware of. It actually has any additional information from the other blocks themselves. I like to think of it as like a catch-all for all remarks. So in this particular case, we are expanding on block 4, 9, and 12, and 13 to specify more information. And then at the very bottom, you see blocks G, H, I, and J, which show who prepared the actual CDRLs. This would be the technical point of contact, the date that they prepared it, as well as who approved it, which in this case is our office, and the date that we approved it. The second page is the final report. Both the first page and the second page are pretty common deliverables to include. And the last page is kind of a catch-all CDRL. It's something that specifies all other CDRLs that do not include a quarterly report, which is the first page, or the final report, which is on the second page. And specifically, those other deliverables are included in block 16 and mentioned here. So this is what makes it abbreviated in a sense. Usually in the past, deliverables are in every single separate page, but in this case, it's a catch-all 3-page condensed format for CDRLs. So you'll see here that software is due, any presentation materials are due, as well as when it is due. In this particular case, when we use MACA, it's months after contract award, which goes back that deliverables specify exactly when they are due relative to the effective date of the contract award. Following through, a test plan is due, some presentation materials, a system and subsystem design description, a test inspection report, conceptual drawings and designs, and then finally a software report, which was kind of clearly illustrated a little bit above. And then the same thing, just like the other CDRL pages, it shows on the right-hand side who receives it, who prepared it, and who approved it. If you have any further questions regarding CDRLs or how to create your CDRLs, please be sure to contact our office.